Hello everyone, welcome to Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. I've just bought this game, and in actual fact, I thought I made a mistake when I bought this game. I bought this game on, I searched the CD key on Google. It's perfectly fine, you can do it, and there's loads of sites where you can get games cheaper than what they are normally. And I found a site, I bought the game, and then I thought, I tried to add it, and it said I already had the game in my library, and I thought, no I don't. And then I noticed it, I thought, have I bought this before? So I emailed these guys and said, I accidentally bought the game, it was a mistake, and they refunded me, even though I made it clear afterwards, so I realised that, in fact, the key that I had does actually match the key on my Uplay. Now, I decided to do AC3 Remastered because A, it's remastered, but also the other reason I decided to do this is because on the original version of this game there is no Tyrant of the Tyranny of King Washington DLC, and the problem with this is that when I went to see if I could get it, you can't buy it anymore, so obviously you have to do it on this. Obviously there is Liberation on this as well, and as you know, I'm going to do just 2 more Assassin's Creeds for 2022. That's AC3 and Liberation. AC4, AC Unity and Syndicate will all be next year. I will record them this year, most likely, but they won't be uploaded until next year. The reason why I've decided to do this as an LP is because I thought about doing it as a live stream, and you know what? I think I have a lot more control over how I do it as a pre-recorded experience. So we're going to jump straight into a new game. This is the end of Desmond's journey. This is the final game in which Desmond is a protagonist. And let's go for it.
Used to be when people talked about the end of the world, we locked them up. Or laughed them off. Sometimes both. But we never took them seriously. Maybe we should have. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Better to start at the beginning, with the abduction of Desmond Miles, my son. This boy had no ambition, no direction, no plans for the future. What he did have was a heritage, one he chose to deny. It nearly cost him his life. He was captured and imprisoned. Those who took him believed he could help them find something. The apple. One of several artifacts we call Pieces of Eden. Bits of ancient technology scattered across the globe. Some hidden, some found, all of them dangerous. Most are held by a single group, the same group that now had Desmond. You know them as Abstergo Industries. We know them as the Templars, as the enemy. We've been fighting them for thousands of years. Even longer if you believe the stories of their origins. I do. After all, I've seen the truth. That's the beauty and the horror of the Animus. A device that allows us to enter and experience the lives of our ancestors. It holds the power to change everything, to show us history the way it really happened. Up until its creation, to the victor went the spoils, went the truth. We're trying to fix that, to free minds and bodies both. But there's only so much that we can do, and the Templars have the upper hand these days. But something larger than the Assassins and Templars is approaching, bigger than all of us. And if we can't find a way to stop it, these next few weeks will probably be our last. Everyone's last. In the end, it all comes down to him. To Desmond. Through the Animus, he discovered his heritage, explored the lives of his ancestors, and uncovered their secrets. When that was done, he trained. He used another ancestor to provide decades of experience in the span of a few days. It worked. We think. We hope. Soon, though, soon we'll know. That ominous date fast approaches, December 21st, 2012. None of us knows what it'll bring, only that this is where they want us to be when it does. They've been guiding us in their own fractured, frustrating way. These voices from the first civilization, the ones who came before, a precursor race of immense power and uncertain motives. They're the ones who made the Pieces of Eden. This is where they've led him, and through him, us. He stands at the entrance to this long-lost place, armed with the knowledge of Altair and the abilities of Ezio. He holds in his hands the Apple of Eden, and we stand at his side, ready to support him however we can. His name is Desmond Miles, and he has brought us to the end.
So one thing I wasn't going to do was I wasn't going to do this game this year. I was actually going to leave it. But I decided to do it because I thought, you know what? This game is probably it's the longest one I'm going to do by a long way. I'm going to probably have to do Liberation alongside it in order to get this and that one done. I've never finished Liberation. So Liberation is going to be a pretty much blind LP. I know the mechanics of Liberation, but I never really got into it. It didn't really draw me in. But I'm determined to play that game because I know something connects from AC3 to Liberation. I know Connor appears in Liberation, but I don't know how he appears. I've not really looked into it. This game is the end of Desmond's journey. This is where his story, as of the main protagonist, because after this you just get an unnamed first-person view, and that was it. This is the end of Desmond's story. This game. What I'm going to do is, again, break this down into sessions. The first session is going to be the first part of the game where you play as Haytham. Now, we all know what Haytham is. I'm not going to ruin it for anyone who doesn't know. But in the first part of the game, you don't play as the character later. You play as Haytham. I'll leave his last name for those who know to tell, think for themselves, who could it be? His name is Haytham, and I'm going to play up until the end of his section. There's the first section of the game that is Haytham. Then you get into the actual, which stumped so many people when they first played this game. They were like, why are we playing as this guy and not who we thought we play as? Which, does spoil a bit, but not actually saying what it is. So this first session is going to be Haytham's journey, Haytham's start. And then we're going to go from there.
We're here. Let's go.
It looks lovely. It looks fantastic. I haven't played this game since I got it when Odyssey came out.
In another moment, down went Alice after it, never once considering how in the world she was to get out again.
think we're here.
The key. You must find the key.
Son?
Sir.
Here we go again.
Desmond?
Do you hear us?
Yeah. What happened?
The temple triggered a bleeding effect. You collapsed and entered into a fugue state.
So naturally, you dropped me into the Animus instead of, I don't know, making sure I was okay?
You weren't in any danger. Besides, the temple appeared to be communicating with you, and I didn't want to risk severing the connection. At least not until we knew what it wanted.
Right. Of course.
Son,
No, it's fine. I get it. And I know what I'm looking for, by the way. It's a key. Just no idea where it is, though. I guess that's why she triggered the bleeding effect.
She?
Juno, Dad. She's talking to me.
Okay, Desmond. While you were, visiting Constantinople, we picked up a software update for the Animus. I'd like to run a couple of quick tests to make sure there aren't any major issues.
All right. What do you need me to do?
We'll start simple. Walk to the marker over there. Okay, Desmond. Let's practice climbing on these objects. Run your way through this little obstacle course. That's a constraint. These are optional objectives that raise your synchronization rate. All right, Desmond. Follow the on-screen instructions and kill the 2 Templars. All you have to do here is jump the gap. synchronization levels look good now. We should be able to build the world. Time to find out what the temple wants from you.
Sir? Sir? Everything all right, sir?
Yes, fine. I'm just preoccupied, that's all.
Don't forget your invitation. Master Birch will be meeting you inside.
Thank you.
Where shall I retrieve you once you're done?
Front of the Opera House. And be quick about it. Don't expect to be here long.
I'll bring her round at once.
Now we've gone from the 1500s to the early 1700s, I believe.
Invitation, please. Shall I take your coat, sir?
Or late or middle 1700s.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are requested to kindly find your seats.
Good evening, sir. This way, please.
My apologies.
Evening, Hatham.
Reginald?
I can't tell you how happy I was to hear they'd mounted this revival. Gay's best work by far. Have you seen it before?
Once. My father brought me here as a child. Though I remember little of it. I don't suppose tonight will afford me the luxury of a proper viewing either.
No, I'm afraid it won't. On to business then. Do you see him?
He's seated in one of the boxes above.
The stairs are watched. You'll need to find another way up.
I already have.
He acts in a double capacity, both against rogues and for them. For 'tis but fitting that we should protect and encourage cheats, since we live by 'em.
Sir, Black Mall had set word of trial comes on.
1,000 pardons. So sorry. My apologies.
As the wench is very active and industrious, you may satisfy her that I'll soften the evidence.
Tom Gay, sir, is found guilty.
A lazy dog! When I took him the time before, I told him what would come to if he did not bend his hand. This is death without reprieve.
Can I put subtitles on? I feel like I can. Ah, here we go. HUD, maybe? General. Subtitles are on. Okay.
I made mention of booking. For Tom Gag, £40. Let Betty Sly know I'll save her from transportation. If I can get more by her staying in.
Plenty has brought more goods into our loft here than any time in the game. And in truth, 'tis a pity to lose so good a customer.
If none of the gang take her off, she may, in the common course of business, leave her 12 months longer. I love to let women stay. A good sportsman always lets the end part business lie, because the breed of the game depends on it. Besides, here the law allows us no reward. There's nothing to be got by the death of women, except our wives.
Without dispute, she is a fine woman. Because to her I was obliged for my education. And to say a bold word, she has straightened up more young fellows into the business than me.
a little Dutch courage up the blooming cheek.
We round for pride and practice every sport to bribe the gods. Of love like yours,
Jeremy's really burning off the books tonight. He's a marvel.
But make haste and use it, boy. And let me friends know what I intend. What?
Haytham. You should have come to me. We would have found another way.
Yes. But then you would have known. For what it's worth, I'm sorry.
As am I.
Come, please!
Over there! That man there! Seize him!
Whatever has happened?
But I've done no wrong. I
Search him.
Oh,
Any
my.
weapons?
Nothing. We must keep looking. He must be in here somewhere.
I beg your pardon, madam. Did you notice anyone suspicious?
Please.
Try to remember.
Order! We must have order! Order! We must have order!
It happened.
Order!
We must have
What
order.
are those men doing about?
I'm staying where it's safe.
Move! Move! Imbecile! Peace, friends, there is no danger!
Where are you going?
I need to get out. Too close in here. I must get some air.
Calm yourself. I won't let you go until you're calm. I'll search along here. You search down there.
Very well. If you find anyone, give a shout.
And how was the opera?
Rather dull, truth be told.
Shall we be off then?
Aye. To Fleet and Bride.
By your command.
Fascinating. Gentlemen, I hold in my hand a key. And if this book is to be believed, it will open the doors of a storehouse built by those who came before.
Ah, yes. Those who ruled, reigned, and vanished from the world. Do we know what it is that will be held within?
It could contain certain knowledge, perhaps a weapon, or something as yet unknown, unfathomable in its construction and purpose. It could be any of these things, or none of them. They are still an enigma, these precursors. But of one thing I am certain. Whatever waits behind those doors shall prove a great boon to us all.
Or our enemies, should they find it first.
They won't. You've seen to that.
I assume you know where this storehouse is?
Ah, Mr. Harrison.
Gentlemen,
How fare your calculations?
I believe the site lies somewhere within this region.
That's a lot of ground to cover.
My apologies. Were that I could be more accurate.
That's all right. It suffices for a start. And that is why we've called you here, Master Kenway. We'd like for you to travel to America, locate the storehouse, and take possession of its contents.
I'm yours to command, although a job of this magnitude will require more than just myself.
Of course. Upon this paper are the names of 5 men sympathetic to our cause. Each is also uniquely suited to aid you in your endeavor. With them at your side, you will want for nothing.
Well, then I'd best be on my way.
I knew our faith in you was not misplaced. We booked you passage to Boston. Your ship leaves at dawn. Go forth, Hatham, and bring honor to us all.
And there we have the first sequence done, fully synchronized.
Fresh air might do me good.
Next time, guys, we will go on and see what this ship has to offer us and where it's taking us. Well, we know it's taking us to Boston. We know that we're going to the Americas. The first time the Assassin's Creed series had ventured into the other area of the world, and it stayed here. It was just this game, wasn't it? But this was in the amongst of the American Revolution, right in the middle of America gaining for their independence, and they're trying to overcome the British. Anyway, let's get back to the main here, and this is where I'm going to leave it. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.